Hey, I'm Elyse.
Hey, I'm Sarah, and this is the Wanna Be Friends podcast.
I think we should have said it together there, but I didn't catch the cue.
It's all right. One of these days we'll get
it figured out.
You guys will just know that this is just how it's rolling around here. We're not professionals.
Not at all.
If you came here for professional podcasting, or for you to other ones. Hey, I'm so glad we're back though. Thanks for tuning in for another week of our shenanigans.
Shenanigans, that's right. So today we have decided that we are going to talk about introvert and introversion, extroversion.
No,
I don't know.
I was trying to say these
phrase.
words before we started recording. I couldn't say them, so I'm just gonna go with our introvert friends, our extrovert friends, and friends in between.
Yes, that will work. Okay, so Sarah, what are you? Tell me, what are you?
I don't know. I think most people can probably pick up on this. Definitely. I'm your classic introvert.
Yeah.
I've always been like that ever since I was a kid. I am not the first person to talk. You will not find me throwing out ideas in the middle of a conversation. I am not living my best life in a huge group of people. New situations are literally the worst case scenario for me.
New situations
with new people.
So people, like a new place, new environment, just somewhere you're not typically like.
Literally, probably the worst.
Awesome.
Which is ironic for what I do as a living in all aspects of my life.
Yes, it is. Like in ministry, you're constantly having to talk to new people. Not having to, you're getting to talk to new people.
I get to.
But maybe in your case, it is having to. I'm kidding.
But I also just meet random people in the middle of cornfields, take pictures that I've never met before.
I love getting your awkward stories of your photography sessions where, you just
there's some I walk out and I'm like, they are never going to book me again because I'm so awkward. Or I just say the dumbest things. So I just play those interactions over and over in my head constantly. So if I had an interaction with you 15 years ago that was slightly awkward, I'm still thinking about it today. So
it'll keep you up at night.
That's why I don't sleep.
Yes, you are scarred from the
awkwardness. Yeah. So introvert, but I thrive in one-on-one conversations. I love just intimate settings. And once I am comfortable in a group, I don't have a problem talking and stuff. And I think I've grown a lot over the years, but still a struggle at times.
Now, do you have that classic with the introverted people where you feel so overwhelmed and drained, at the end of these bigger social situations?
For sure. I find myself only scheduling one big social thing a day. There's no way I could go from this social thing to this social thing to this thing. I would literally die.
Death would be better.
As soon as I walk out of a social situation, I'm like, it's time for a nap. I need to just shut my body and my brain off for 30 minutes or something. I don't know why. Just the way it is.
But then you're good to go after your nap. If you have a nap, does it recharge you?
Yeah, it does. I'm like, let's go. Let's do something else.
So is it a nap or a period of time by yourself? Or is it just the nap? What do you...
I don't know. As a mom, do I really get time by myself? No. I think I've just learned to keep going. I think the nap is just to kind of reset. Because I do, I'm just constantly playing over the conversations, what I should have said, what I could have said, the awkward face I probably made, or the awkward thing I just said because I was trying to fill dead air, dead sound. I don't know. So I just will start saying random things.
You're like a word vomiter sometimes, aren't you?
Yeah. My husband is very much I could tell you were awkward because you just started saying words. I was just stringing them together somehow.
I hope something makes sense to somebody.
So bad. He's like, okay, time to go. Because it's very, I don't know how to end conversation. I'm just so locked in on that conversation and I feel it's rude to just bounce and go somewhere else, church especially. If I'm, if someone catches me, I'm talking to them, I'm probably gonna just stay engaged in that conversation the entire time. The rest of the time I'm there because I don't know how to disengage without feeling I'm hurting their feelings. Whereas my husband barges in and like just takes over a conversation, not like totally disregarding what was happening. They have a great conversation, but then he just like turn around and leave. And I'm like, how did you get in and out? And
I think it's kind of like a magic power, actually.
Really, I don't possess it, but what about you? Like what how do you, in those kind of situations, will you identify?
So I have recently learned about myself that I am an ambivert. And so that's kind of like a mixture of introverted and extroverted. But I can do the social situations. Mm-hmm. I don't love them if it's not like comfort zone. I'm very, very much a comfort zone person. But I definitely do better at them than you would. Just because it's a more, it does feel a little more natural to me.
Yeah. You definitely look way more natural.
I think people. I look more natural talking to people. Yes, like, isn't talking to people like one of the most natural things there is?
No, not for me.
No, so I guess like I think a typical extrovert kind of almost feeds on the crowds, like on like a large amount of people. I do not at all. Like I have a handful of close people, and around those people I'm comfortable. Like my immediate family, my mom and sisters and brother and dad and all of them, like total comfort in all of those situations. All of my close friends, always total comfort. But when we start expanding into people that I'm not like seeing all the time or talking with all the time, then the comfort level does start to decrease, but I can still do it. And honestly, a lot of the time I think I just like fake it till I make it. I just act like this is a situation that I'm comfortable in, and then I get through it.
Yeah.
But I think that with being the ambivert, like the difference almost is that like for you, like you recharge by a nap, or my husband who is very introverted, he recharges by time to himself. Quiet time, whatever, time alone to do whatever it is that he needs to do. It's just to empty his brain. But for me, I recharge by like time engaged with my close people.
Right.
So that has been like truly one of our biggest relationship challenges between me and my husband.
Yeah.
And we have just recently kind of started diving into our personality types a little bit more, like the introversion, and finally figured out what I am, because he always called me an extrovert, and I almost like, I didn't take offense to it, but I just, I very wholeheartedly disagreed with it, because I know how I feel inside when I'm in these situations, and then I know how.
And you're not the person who's dancing in front of all the people and like being loud and obnoxious, because you do have friends that are like that.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, not for me.
Right. You know, your husband would be one of those people.
Yeah. If you know us, you know exactly who we're talking about.
But no, I do think that that finally identifying kind of more what I connect with more, like when I was looking those things up, I was then able to share that with him and be like, look, it is hard for me to be around people sometimes. I do need time, like, to wind down, or time to, you know, because he always...
He probably resents sometimes that you feel so comfortable or so energized being around people, and he's like, oh, you're extroverts, I'm just killing me. But really, you're like, I don't... That's not me. Like, this also is a struggle for me too.
So the biggest struggle that we finally figured it out this fall, and we've been together for like 15 years or something. And
you think this is something we figure out in the first year of dating?
Yeah, we fought over it all the time, because he would always tell me, I need time to myself. And I would take such offense to that. Like, why do you want to be away from me so bad? What is so wrong with me that you desperately need this time away from me? And because I took it as that time he needed to be away from me in order to feel some sort of peace or whatever.
Yeah.
That's not like, that's not a great feeling.
Am I not? Yeah, someone great to be around 24/7.
Yeah, right. Just, you're supposed to love me. So that was, he really struggles also though, like communicating. So he can't really express what's going on up here. He does not know how to express that to me in a way that I understand it. He's really bad about like starting sentences, and then he just kind of stops and fizzles out. And I'm like, he's like, you know what I mean? And I'm like,
no,
you didn't say words. How can I know what you mean? So we just were kind of.
I understand that also. Like, it's like there's so much emotion happening up here, but like literally words to stop functioning, and your ability to like even try to put words to how you're feeling, it just feels complicated.
Yeah.
Because then we're thinking about all the other aspects, like how we want to preserve this relationship, how we want to like, we don't want to do anything that we regret. We think about all the other scenarios before we say words. So then we're stuck because there's a little bit of a lag time there to what we're thinking. You waiting. It's like those movies. You see like when like they're having an inner dialogue, but like the other person's just sitting there staring at them, but they don't react. Like there's like a period of time that's passing and they're in a dialogue going, and you're just like, why is that character not like reacting? That they're taking a few minutes to tell this whole story in their head.
Yeah.
That like they're just moving on, but like no, in real life, like we're just staring at you like.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. No, Matt does that that is a very common thing. Like he tells me about how he like has to think before he speaks. What is that even? Like it does. I mean, I'm telling you, the words are coming out of my mouth before they've even registered in my brain. Yes. But he actually thinks his thoughts, puts them in an order, and then he tries to communicate them. Yeah. And maybe he does get lost somewhere. So he just would always struggle to like really.
We're not lost. We're just trying to figure out how to best communicate to you.
Yeah.
Don't say that we're lost. We're not lost. That's good.
He might be. He does this thing where like we'll just try and be like, and then he'll make weird noises. And he'll be like, you know what I mean? And I'm like,
he's trying.
No, I really don't know what you mean. You didn't speak English. I don't speak hand language. I don't know what you're saying.
He's like, let the words flow.
But so when he would try to explain those things, it would almost always result in an argument because I would just feel so frustrated that he needed to be away from me, not like that it was a need. And so we would always come back to this silly fight. And I say silly, but it was a lot of fights over a lot of years. Mm-hmm. And it would leave both of us feeling kind of defeated because like we weren't on the same page. We did not understand each other's needs. And so this past fall, like we were dealing with it again, and maybe it was him. He found an article about introverts or something. He's like, I need you to read this. This is how I am. This explains me. And so I read it and it made a lot of sense. And it helped me to be able to like realize that it wasn't about me. Mm-hmm. Because being the type of person I am, I do think that everything's about me.
Right. Like that, I got your smile. I was like, here we go with it. Like, not selfishly, but like
I make it about me.
Yeah,
in my head,
it bounces off.
Yeah,
like
it bounces off.
I don't know.
What does that mean?
Sarah? I don't know. Listen, here you go, my whole introvert brain going. I'm stuck. I'm saying words. No, but like it doesn't like. Or maybe it doesn't bounce off like it should. Like we're like things that are said. They're like. Let's pause and think about this for a second. It just does not bounce off you. You absorb it and you're like, what? Mm-hmm. Like, you don't want to spend time with me?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Like, and I think it goes into like love languages. Like, I think we've all kind of have either heard about it or you studied it, read the book. Like ways in which we feel love and how we receive love, but how we also give love and how it's not always the way that another person receives or wants to be loved and stuff. So it gets really messy if we don't figure those things out because you expect to receive love in a certain way. He's also expecting to receive love a certain way. They're completely different ends of the spectrum. Mm-hmm. So you both are just missing each other, like just missing by miles. So I think it's just very interesting to learn those personality parts is that like you don't learn to like, I hate it's a strong word, but like we get frustrated about how the other person operates. It's just learning to understand how they operate. Mm-hmm. That it's not a character flaw. It's not something that's wrong with them. It's just how their beautiful mind works and how God created them. And I think it's something interesting even inside friendships. You know, this is the Wanna Be Friends podcast, and I think something that we all encounter is the differences in friendships. Like, we all have that one wild, crazy friend. And what it just like, it walks into a place and just completely takes over and is loud. And
that's not me, is it, of your friends?
No, definitely not. No. That's my husband.
As you get like the scold behind the camera.
It's not a bad thing. Like, that's just how like he works, and I love that, and I think that's what made him so successful, and just in his relationships and how in his work and everything that he does, just his ability to connect with people and thrive around people. Whereas I don't thrive in that atmosphere, and quite like that. But instead of me like resent his ability to just be so comfortable, or if we're out, we travel a lot with Impact camp stuff, and it's almost like a joke now. He's like, I'm going to go talk to people now. You can stay here in the corner if you'd like, but I'm going to go talk to people. Like, I can get mad at him for leaving me in the corner. Like, I'm just going to sit there and wait until someone comes find me.
That's so funny that you say that, because yesterday we got to church, like, I don't know, we got into the auditorium like 10 minutes early. I am not kidding you. That's huge for us. We are just
asleep, though.
Chronically late. But anyway, we got there that early, and I asked him, I'm like, should we go around and like talk to people? Should we say hi? And he's like, well, that's not really my thing. And so we went and we sat down, and I'm just kind of sitting there, and I'm looking around, I'm like seeing everybody talking, and I'm like, I really should go talk to people. And then I kind of felt like I shouldn't leave him. I would have felt bad. And then I wanted to go talk to people, but I didn't.
Right.
But yeah, it's like kind of
not, like, coming to an understanding. Like, I don't expect him to sit there and babysit me the whole time. I don't need that. But I also want him to thrive in the ways that, he thrives, and like, he just makes people feel so special because he can just walk up to them and start talking. And I love that about him. It's not easy for me to do that. I will find people that are like maybe off by themselves, or the other introverts are hanging along the wall. But you're just learning to like not resent each other. And hopefully he didn't feel like I'm like bumming out, because I'm just like, I'm hanging out here, it's fine. And in ministry has taught me a lot, and it's not like I completely avoid people at all costs. It's just learning, we both have our strengths and weaknesses and stuff, but also like understanding those dynamics inside friendships too. Just knowing that like, I can't spend every single second of the day with you. I love you, but that's not going to happen.
Spitting hard truths over here. You're like, when it's time for you to go, you got to go.
You fill my cup. You know this. We do a lot together.
Yeah, but when you're done, you're done. She's never told me to leave. Just FYI for anyone.
But when she leaves, I take a good nap.
Okay. Well, now that I know.
I'm just kidding. Okay.
Now that I know how draining I am.
I've never left your house wanting to take a nap. No.
But I've left your house with you wanting to take a nap.
No. I don't think so.
No, so
wouldn't do this. It was draining.
But it does, like, and it helped to be able to learn about Matt what is going on inside of his head. Not just him telling me I need quiet or I need alone time or whatever. It was like learning what is actually going on in there really made a difference. And then me finding, I was looking up extrovertedness, and it just wasn't clicking, and I just didn't understand, like, well, what am I? And not that I have to like conform to either of these things, but like, but I wanted to be able to find something to share with him to help him to learn me better. And so then I did stumble on like, on Ambivert and what that kind of looks like, and how, I like decompress, or my cup is filled by being around these close people, whereas he needs that time to kind of sort through his thoughts and stuff. I don't do any thought sorting. I don't even know what that is. Like, just
file management. Anything.
There's just a big spaghetti up there. There is nothing at all that is like, I don't know, you guys and your brains. I mean, mine's not great by any means, but I still don't know how you think things for so long, and then, I don't know.
I don't understand it either, but
I mean, it's great, but so more along the lines of like, what is there a type of person that you kind of like are attracted to, like me? Like, so for me, I know that my kinds of people are
thinking about her again.
are the introverted people. Like, they're my people. It's so funny, and we've talked about this for a long time. Like, if the person is a little quieter or less comfortable in crowds or whatever, those are typically going to be the people that I just gravitate to.
We bring the calm and the peace into the craziness ensuing there.
Yeah. Because there's so much there's so much always like going on in my head. It's not like thoughts like you guys. It's different. I don't even know how to explain it. But it's not like, like sorting through my little like file folders or whatever, like in my brain. No,
I just picture it as like a library. Like we were just like, like on the ladders, like pulling out books and stuff. So I feel like that's just kind of like how we categorize our minds.
Mine is like a ball of yarn that a cat got hold of or something. Like, you're gonna have all these knots in that. Like, I don't know, but yeah, you guys are just the calm for me.
Yeah,
and so that's.
But that whereas introverts or extroverts, like my husband, like really draws us out of our comfort zones and challenges us, and but also is kind of like that support person. Like sometimes it is helpful to have someone who is a little more outgoing than you.
Need us.
So they're kind of like I don't know, take off the pressure a little bit. I mean, it's just like I had to go shoot a wedding a couple weeks ago, and I like paid my friend to go with me, just kind of be my friend. Not if I necessarily needed her to shoot or anything, but just to like have someone, and she's very much an extrovert, has like absolutely no problem being around people.
No.
That like she's like the first person like shaking people's hands and greeting
Didn't you
them.
like try to make her go in with you to go to the bathroom or something?
No, so like we got there like an hour early, and I'm like, okay, I have to shoot for like 4 hours. Like I have to be around these people never met before for 4 hours. I just have to be on top of my game. I was like, we're just gonna sit here in the car. I'm just gonna kind of scroll through my phone for like 30 minutes, just kind of in quiet, because we had talked the whole way there. So I was already a little kind of like over talked, but I was just like, we just need like a few minutes of like silence. And she looks at me. I mean, we're just in there for like 5 minutes in my car. She looks at me. She's like, Sarah, I really have to go pee.
Oh, that's right. It was her.
And I was like, Caitlin, I don't want to go in there yet. If we go in there, like, it's game on. And she's like, but I really have to pee. Like, we've been driving for 2 hours. And I'm like, I know, but like, I don't want to go and talk to people. And she's like, Sarah, sometimes you just have to go talk to people. I'm like, I don't want to. I mean, I love these people. They were great. They were amazing clients. And we had so much fun. But I was just like, in that moment, she's like, Sarah, so you have to get out of the car. You have to go talk to them. I'm like, I don't want to. And I was like, we were walking to the house. We didn't even get into the bed and breakfast. And the crib comes out. I'm like trying to shake his hand. I'm trying to talk to him. I'm saying random words, and she's just laughing at me. Stop laughing at me. Friend. She was a very good friend. But like, it was also nice to kind of like have her there, kind of just like help me, like just get like just warm up to the room and stuff like that. So like those kind of friends are very beneficial and stuff. And I think I am more attracted to people who are a lot more outgoing than myself, because it almost makes life a little easier, and like they bring a sense of calm, to my anxious mind and stuff.
It's just different.
It's just different. Yeah. Like there's also chaos going on inside here, but it's more internal. Kind of like, just help me like let loose a little bit. I don't know. Like it's just interesting. But like we talk about like how like you married someone that's a lot like me, and I married someone that's a little more extrovert than you. But like the personalities of almost are very opposite. Mm-hmm. How interesting it is that relationships do work like that. Mm-hmm. Like that you can complement each other and stuff like that. So I don't know. I just think it's interesting.
Yeah. So the last thing probably I want to say would be like I did do a quick little Google search on like biblically kind of what what that looks like, and I started like scrolling through the results, and I was so shocked to see all these like headlines that were basically, you have to be an extroverted person to be a Christian, or you have to be an introverted person to be a Christian. I was just like, I don't understand this at all. God made each of us in the ways that he made us, and we have special qualities that we can bring to different situations. And the way that he created us is exactly how we need to be for the situations we're going to come up against in our lives. So
we're going to influence and reach and talk to and stuff. Yeah.
So I was just very shocked by it being like a very like,
ooh, that's messy.
Yeah, it was weird. And so I just kind of wanted to throw that out there that like neither way or none of the ways are wrong. You were created it that way, and they're good ways to be. Each has their strengths.
He knit us in our mother's womb, and like how he knew intricately like those little pieces of us that were going to make us so special and unique. Yes. Like there's not a single person like you out there in the world. There's millions and billions of people out there. And yes, we find similarities and understanding between different personality types, but like God made you uniquely you for a time such as this, to parent the kids that he's given you, to be friends with the friends and people that are around you, to work and do ministry in life with people at your local church, whoever it is. Like, so don't ever think that like being an introvert or an extrovert is bad, or
it's just the way that you're wired, and you can bring good to any of the situations that you're in with it. So
absolutely. Okay, this has been a great conversation.
It has been.
We probably could talk about this all day, but we'd love to hear from you guys. Are you more of an introvert, or are you more extrovert? Do you have an extrovert friend that you're like, yes? How do you find those play into your friendships? And if you have any tips or tricks that you like to share with others of how you make friendships more successful by leaning into those strengths and stuff of your personality types, we'd love to hear them in the comments. But until next time, we'll see you guys.
Bye.